We're turning our attention to bowel cancer, our second biggest killer, but not near talked about enough. Maybe it's stigma, embarrassment, but this June, we want to talk about it more, raise awareness, and hopefully save lives. Like many charities, COVID has stalled funding efforts, funding that goes towards vital research and also patient services. Bowel Cancer New Zealand's annual fundraiser kicks off today, aptly named Move Your Butt, where you get active and raise money and awareness. We talked to 3 bowel cancer survivors, the founder of Bowel Cancer New Zealand, a former New Zealand basketball player, and an expectant mum, about their journey with the disease and why this fundraiser is so important. Alex Pledger was at the top of his game in his basketball sporting career and had just sent out his wedding invitations the day he got his diagnosis.
Where's my teammate? Who's the guy on my team? There we go. It's kind of hard to say what it was like in just a few words. I was, well, obviously shocked. It was about a month before the basketball season started, and I was feeling really just positive about how the team was going to go that season, and we sent out the invitations to our wedding that afternoon. I definitely didn't think I was going to be a cancer patient before the day ended.
I was by myself at the time, so it was very unnerving, quite a numbing experience, just a huge shock. Yeah, none of us really knew kind of what to do and where to go, and yeah, it was awful. Awful is the best way to put it.
We have some of the highest rates of bowel cancer in New Zealand, so it's really bad. As many as breast and prostate combined die of bowel cancer every year. So it's something we've really got to start focusing on talking about and erasing that stigma around. I was diagnosed in 2007. I just had my first son, who was 6 months old when I was diagnosed. And a real shock. I was 28.
It all turns grey inside my thoughts.
So here's the thing, we always think that things won't happen to us, that it always happens to someone else. But it happened to you, and it happened to you at a young age.
Yeah, well, it was definitely one of those that'll never happen to me moments kind of happening. I think being a professional sports person led a pretty healthy lifestyle and was in pretty good condition physically. All the things like smoking and the things that theoretically can cause cancer, I avoided almost all of those sort of things, and to still get it anyway. It was pretty shocking.
When I was diagnosed at 28, that was quite rare. Now there is definitely a lot more people coming through. 350 people are diagnosed under 50 every year. Everyone needs to be aware of the symptoms and make sure they get to their GP if they have anything that concerns them with their bowel health.
I actually had a little bit of blood in my stool, which I had noticed on occasion, but because it was so minimal, I never associated it with bowel cancer. Also because I never knew the signs and symptoms of bowel cancer to look for.
I'd been to a couple of GPs, and just unfortunately gotten the classic "you're too young to have cancer" response. I started bleeding really heavily, like several litres, a lot. I thought, that's definitely not how the body is supposed to work. So I went to A&E that night.
I fell pregnant 6 weeks post-chemo, and the advice moving forward post-chemo was wait 6 months, ideally 2 years, but it happened, 6 weeks. And it just happened. So, my body was ready for it, and it's all good. Everything's great. We're both really, really healthy. Baby's growing absolutely perfectly, and I feel amazing.
How much does Bowel Cancer New Zealand need to raise? But also, what does it actually go towards?
The money that we're looking to raise this year is $300,000, and that's going to go towards vital research. As you can see from the stats, we really need that research, but also patient services like free counselling and physio. It goes towards our wellness program. And with COVID, it's really needed at the moment. You know, bowel cancer is curable in 90% of cases, and that's what we find so heartbreaking. Why are our stats so terrible when it is a preventable and it is a beatable cancer?
I feel really good about things now. The long-term kind of prognosis was quite positive, but I'll probably always be quite fearful that you know, a little sign like that could kind of mean that it's returned.
For me, I've been given a second chance at life. You know, stage 4 cancer is, it's quite scary, and then to have come off on the other side of that, I'm so grateful, and it's just every day I'm so grateful. I'm very much a live in the now person. Yeah, what happened yesterday doesn't matter, what's happening tomorrow, that doesn't matter. Today is the good thing.
True that. And I just want to say thank you so much to Rachel, Alex and Mary for telling your stories. Head to bowelcancernz.org.nz if you have any concerns whatsoever. Otherwise, join me and move your butt this month.